Hey, baby. Did mommy just get off work? Did mommy just get off work? Did you miss mommy? You gonna hold my hand again? You wanna hold my hand again? Or you're gonna kiss my hand, okay? I just got off work and I was doing some email work on my phone, and she came over and she just ever so politely just kept putting her paw on my arm. Now, what she used to do is she used to just shove her face into my phone and knock it on the floor. But she just ever so politely just stuck her paw on my arm, and it was so cute. It was the cutest thing ever. She's such a good girl. She's slowly getting better. She's sniffing the phone. She's slowly getting better. She was a little rambunctious in her young age, but I guess now she's over a year old now, and almost a year and a half actually, and she's starting to get it now. Um, there she goes. She doesn't like the camera and she wants food, and I'm paying attention to her now and petting her so she knows that it's coming. Except that actually, we have to check your litter box first. Um, we have to check your litter box because goodness knows if you pooped in the tub again, you're not getting the special food, you're getting the crappy food. That's the deal we have. As long as she doesn't poop in the tub, she gets the special food. Um, she gets the special, expensive, tasty food. Um, or she'll get a higher mixture of that. And if she poops in the tub, then she gets no expensive food at all. She gets all cheap food, and yes, she has to eat it before she gets any more food. Um, but before she has a chance to try again, she has to eat all of the cheap food. Um, that is the understanding we have now come to because I'm so sick of her pooping in the tub. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd rather her poop in the tub than on the carpet, but, you know, it's still the tub, and I still have to take showers in there. And, sometimes I like to take baths, and I haven't taken an act like I have not sat down in my bathtub and soaked in a real bath in let's see, I got her in November, so almost a year. And I would like to get to the point where I can, just bleach out my tub and do that. But, by that point, I would have to have actually bleached it out like a couple times. Um, like bleached it out once. She didn't poop in it for a really long time, and then I bleached it out again, and then finally, okay, now it's clean. I would prefer even three times because, like that's poop. Um, that's poop, and I'm trying to get clean, not dirty, if I'm taking a bath. So, like you got to make sure that's plenty bleached out. But yeah, I haven't had like a real bath. I've taken showers. I take a shower, um, for the most part every day. Some days I'm sick and I just want to come home and sleep. And right now I'm sick and honestly I just want to sleep. But that being said, I actually have way too much crap to get done. I've got a bunch of emails, I've got a bunch of wash, I've got a small amount of cleaning, I've got a large amount of eating to do, because my appetite is down because I'm sick. So, guess what? Not only do I have to make sure to eat enough to actually get over my sickness, I have to eat enough to make up for what I didn't eat all day. Um, because I still did my job and I still bicycled there and I still bicycled there in the middle of really crappy weather. Um, and I still burned all of the calories that I normally would burn in a day, but I didn't really make up for them. And I didn't really make up for them yesterday either, just because um, yesterday I actually burned like twice as many calories. I actually went to work wearing my weighted clothing um yesterday, last night. No, last night was today. I work night shift, so last night was today, and yesterday was 2 nights ago. If that's not confusing enough. But yeah, I burned like twice as many calories, but I only actually made up for about not quite half of what I burned. I'm trying to do fractions in my head, and I haven't done it since school, so it's not going very well. Um, hey, let's be honest. How often do you really need a fraction that's not a quarter? Some. Well, let's go with this. I probably made up for about 3/8 of the calories that I burned. Um, which, I mean, it's better than I have been doing lately. Um, but still, that's not really good. When you're trying to really get in shape for winter, because I don't have an option of not being in shape for winter. I don't have the option of losing muscle mass before winter. I don't have the option or the luxury of not being in shape, especially before winter. Every single winter, I get pneumonia just from riding out in the cold, out in the blizzards, out in the freezing air. Like I put a scarf over my face, obviously, to, do my best to keep my face warm, to keep my nose from getting frostbite. But then usually what happens is I breathe out and that condensates on my scarf, and then I breathe that back in. The condensation, all that water from my breath, I breathe that back in. And it just kind of collects in there, and it turns into pneumonia. Not really anything that I can pass on. It's not because of a pathogen, but it turns into pneumonia, and then on top of that, all the mucus that builds up in my nose to protect my nose from the cold air, eventually it ends up down in my lungs, and I can't get that out either because I have broken ribs. And so I'm sure some of you also have broken ribs. It really hurts to cough. Like, really, really, really hurts. And I can't just be coughing all winter long. So usually it ends up turning into pneumonia. Pretty much every single winter. So I'm going to be riding my bicycle. Rain, shine, light snow, sleet, freaking blizzard outside. Does not matter. I'm going to be riding my bicycle through all of that. 45 minutes to work, 45 minutes back from work, and then on top of that, I'm going to be working at least 8 hours every day. So I don't really have the option of not being in shape, because I'm going to have to do that. And eventually, when it turns into pneumonia, I'm going to have to do that with pneumonia. And I have to be in tip-top shape in order for me to be able to do that, because I have no other options. What exactly is another option? There isn't one. There isn't one. I'm not allowed to drive a car. I will never be allowed to drive a car. An Uber is $20 each way. A taxi cab is even more expensive than that. Each way. That's just one way to work. That's not covering my return trip. So that would be extremely stupid. That would pretty much blow the whole day. The whole day's worth of money that I just made. That would get blown on an Uber if I took an Uber both ways, just because, it's a little blizzard outside. The buses don't run when it's snowing like that. And B, even if they did, I've already had one bad experience on the bus, and I'm not about to have another one. And I'm certainly not about to pay for it, because I already paid for the first one. some drunk guy at the back of the bus actually threw up, and we happened to be going downhill at the time, so as you can imagine, it rolled up the center of the aisle, um, getting on everybody's shoes. So obviously the Transit Association, they would not refund my ticket, would not let me off the bus before we got to the next bus stop. Again, would not refund my ticket, which, based on the poor experience, I feel like every passenger on that bus was owed their ticket back, and if they really wanted to charge somebody for it, they should have charged the drunk guy who threw up at the back of the bus. Because I was not the only one whose shoes got ruined that day that they had to throw them out. Oh, and then the other thing they didn't do, they didn't reimburse me for my shoes, which were ruined and needed to be thrown out. I already know of 3 other people, they also had to throw their shoes out by the time they got home and could possibly clean it. That was set so deep in there that they absolutely could not get the smell of vomit out of their shoes. Same with me. I absolutely could not get the smell of vomit out of my shoes. And I'm quite certain that not a single person on that bus could possibly have gotten the smell of vomit out of their shoes. The transit organization did not reimburse any of us for our bus fare that day. They did not reimburse any of us for the shoes that we had to throw away, and they did not let us off the bus as soon as he vomited, which, you know, if they weren't gonna reimburse us for our shit, that was the least they could have done is, you know, oh crap, somebody vomited? Yeah, let me pull right over right now and let y'all off the bus so that you don't have to be sitting in his vomit. Because he's a drunk guy and we don't know what he has. We don't know what he has. And there is a lot of diseases that can be transmitted through vomit. So, you know, that's really not okay. That should have been handled a lot better. So obviously I'm never paying to ride a bus again. Because why would I risk that? Why would I risk that knowing full well that if it happens again, I'm not going to get reimbursed? It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. So, yeah. And then on top of that, buses don't actually run when it's that snowy. Like, if it's snowy enough that I wouldn't be willing to take a bicycle, buses don't run. Okay? And then on top of that, Uber actually gets more expensive. Cabs actually get more expensive because of the high demand, because the buses aren't running. So what would have been like a $20 trip, now actually it's like a $21 trip, one way, would end up being like a $40 trip each way to work. That's not an option. So I'm gonna be riding my bicycle, rain, shine, sleet, or the middle of a blizzard. I don't care how hard the blizzard is, unless my job calls me and tells me, hey, listen, we're closed due to the snow. Please don't come in today. I'm going into my job and it's going to be on my bicycle. And, yeah. I forget actually what exactly got me on that giant long rant. But yeah. Oh, I remember, because I don't have the option of not being in shape. No matter how sick I get, I do not have the option of not being in shape. So really, I need to eat, a lot. A lot more than most people, a lot more than normal people, a lot. Anyway, you guys have a good day. And please feel free to join me riding your bicycles in the snow. Take videos, take pictures, send them to me, in the snow with your bicycles. That'd be great. All right. Have a good one.